It's Lexi.
Hey.
Whoa, yeah.
That was just the needing it.
Welcome back.
We are so happy you're here.
To Growing Up is Scary.
To Growing Up is Scary. It has been quite a long time since we have recorded. It's been a long time coming.
Yes.
Riley and I went about 2 weeks without seeing each other,
Mhm.
and no one's upset about this, but sorry for not posting for 2 weeks.
No, everyone's upset about it.
They've
Our
been
whole
asking.
fan base is so distraught,
Right.
and we're back.
We're back.
And for anyone that's followed the Instagram, which is probably no one, but I've also not posted a thing. So if you want to hopefully see us be active, check that out. Check that out. We'll be there.
Check out our Insta. We have a lot to dive into today.
I want to start on something really silly. I discovered who Pookie was recently.
Yeah, I didn't know that Riley didn't know who Pookie was.
I'm dramatically out of the loop of everything our age and everything our humor at this age. I've heard some stuff in my sorority, like inside jokes, a bag or two that I'm just like out of the loop what's hip and trendy. Everyone in our sorority started making Pookie jokes one day.
Right.
And for a while, I knew it was something that just I was not in the loop of. And then the other day I was scrolling and I ran into a guy doing an OOTD review of his girlfriend called Pookie. But it seems serious. It wasn't like the joke everyone's been doing on TikTok. And I realized I had stumbled across Pookie in the wild.
The OG Pookie.
Yeah. And we heard it used in the wild.
Our neighbor across the way, male, he was on the
grad
phone.
Student, Vanderbilt neighbor.
Yeah, and he did say, bye, Pookie. Or what did he say?
He was like, okay, I'll see you in a second. Bye, Pookie, or something.
Bye, Pookie.
And that means he'll see you in a second means he was saying it to another boy in the house.
Yes, which really makes me giggle. It was quite interesting. We were just sitting on the balcony.
I felt like I was watching like an Animal Planet documentary, like in the wild.
And that's literally what it was.
Pookie. Yeah.
Bye, Pookie.
It felt surreal. Felt wrong. Felt like it was a private conversation that we shouldn't have heard.
But it's okay because he was outside, so we were not eavesdropping.
Exactly. Okay, you had a very fun event happen to where we did not get to see each other the little last few days before spring break commenced. Right. Do you want to tell about your little event?
I can. Basically, my internship had our one of our events, which is super big in the music industry. So I got to help run that and plan it and everything. And so it was a really fun and cool experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely going to miss it. And I hope I get to go back next year and help because it was just so fun. I got to watch a bunch of country artists play ping pong with each other. Yep. I was doing big things. That was just one of my favorite things that I got to do. That was not the whole premise of the internship, I promise. That was just a really fun little event we had. That's basically it.
That's fun,
I can share.
That's fun. Yeah, a lot of it's so top secret.
The rest so cool. I did sign in India, and I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about.
But just getting to say that is so fun in itself.
That I signed in India.
I know things that I can't share. That sounds cool. That sounds cool.
It's okay. You have to sign an NDA too. It's called HIPAA.
Yes. I don't sign it. I am just
obligated. Oh, tell the story about what he did with your dad's AirPods.
So these little kitties, precious little angel rescues, are Austin natives. They were found in Austin. They lived in Austin until I came here, and I dragged them along against their will. So they're Austin little kitties, and when they lived at my house, they would get really, really promiscuous and mess with things. And one of the things was my dad's AirPods. They ended up hiding it so good because they'll just flick things around to where my dad ended up having to buy new AirPods because he could not find the single one that they hid so well. And I don't know if it was ever found, but that's cats for you. If you leave something out and it's gone, it's probably been pushed under a crevice of a couch in a corner to where we'll find a lot of stuff eventually. If I ever move out of here, move things around, we'll find things under these couches.
Watch him find his AirPod when you all move out
of
the Austin house. He'll be like,
he will. He will. Well, I thought I lost a hair tie and I found it just now on this couch somewhere, and I think I'd taken my hair out watching a show, and I think Scooby moved it. His favorite thing is hair ties. Oh my gosh.
He just likes anything circular.
Well, he'll fling it, but then sometimes he'll eat it enough to where I'm scared he's gonna swallow it. Scooter would. My gosh, that guy likes food too much. He would swallow it. But there's one day I was like vacuuming my room and I lifted up the rug and I vacuumed under it and I heard an awful sound and it was one of his toys that he will hide everything under there. And moral of the story is check before you just do anything around here because it's lurking.
Yes. They're just silly kitties. They're just living their
They're
best
very
lives.
silly. I have an apology. So it's not serious at
To
all.
me?
It's just to something I've said. So I went, while you had your fun event, one of my little last fun things before spring break was a Judah and the Lion concert.
Yes.
So fun. I didn't really realize they went to Belmont and had graduated and they were Belmont grads returning for homecoming week.
Mhm.
We aren't the most spirited of students, so homecoming week isn't really a big thing for us here. But we get free concerts, so that's fun. Last year we had Brad Paisley, and so it's been a fun time. But it was so fun. So fun. It felt very wholesome. I was very close. We were in like orchestra seating,
Yeah.
my friend Anna and I. And while he was singing, when I tell you he was wearing like a
I know where this is going now.
He was wearing like overall like denim something overalls with like no t-shirt underneath where his muscles and tats were showing and the light was hitting just right to where you could tell he worked out and how he was having his banter and talking about things. He was on the baseball team when he was at Belmont, fun fact. But when he was singing in his banter, I have contacts, fun fact. And the contacts go in and out blurry sometimes, which is a fitting issue. It's my fault. I need to just speak up and get some better fitting ones. So I couldn't really tell the details of his face. So later I found out how he really looked. But in that moment, I was like, you know what? I could do Music Man. I am very adamant on saying I can't do music. I don't want to be sung at. I don't want to be strummed at. It's been a traumatic thing. It changed my mindset.
I don't know if we've discussed this on the podcast, but Riley flames me for being attracted to
musicians. That's my apology.
Thank you.
I instantly was like, oh, it's just which one.
I'm so glad.
It's just which one. And that.
I'm so glad you understand where I'm coming from now.
Oh my gosh, I get it.
Thank you. But I'm so glad you had that experience, like truly.
It was an awakening. Afterwards, I talked to Anna and I was like, Anna, was that just me? Or was like, did your heart... She's like, no, it was me. It was me too. And I was like, what? Yeah. So Judah, he's engaged. Immediately we stalked everything. His new album's about divorce, but it comes out in May and then I think he gets married in June. Remarried to a new woman. He's engaged again.
Oh, I'm so happy for him.
But yeah, I was like, you deserve it. It was very, very fun.
Yay.
And at the end, they gave us their album on a CD because one of their jokes was while they were in college, they had made a CD that they were going to sell of an album that they made. And the Belmont baseball team said that they couldn't sell the cases that they put on there because it had Judah's face on it. And he is name, image, and likeness by the baseball team. So he couldn't sell that because it's technically his image while he's on the team. So he said as like a funny joke, I have CDs for all of y'all to take home. And I didn't realize it was like the album, but it literally was. So every time I drive around my car, I listen to the album and it's not even out till like May 10th.
Do you have a CD player?
In my car. Only in my car.
Know that. I don't have one in my car.
You don't?
No.
I feel like all cars have it. That's the only place I can even see a CD player now.
I have an actual CD player.
That's okay because you know what?
Type.
It made me want one. When I got that thing, I was like, shoot. So now when I get in my car, it's like a fun thing where my car will come on and I'm like, oh, I forgot it's in here. I forgot that's happening.
That's
so
funny. No, we'll have to go on a drive. I want to hear it.
Yes. Anna and I, right after the concert, I drove her all around downtown. We listened to the whole thing.
Oh.
With the city lights. And then I went over and saw another story. So afterwards, I saw Country Boy and his friends. I went over to their place, which I know them since freshman year, so it's not like a weird thing. I've hung out with them on a multitude of occasions, lots of funny stories. Saw Country Boy and his friends, ended up talking and hanging out the whole night. So the plan was, I'll just leave later. We end up talking till 4 or 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized I don't want to come back here in like the darkness of night where no one's around.
Mm-hmm.
So then I ended up waiting until the sun rose at like 6 a.m. So I was there all night and awake all night, unfortunately. But it was so fun.
Did you have an 8 a.m.?
The next day?
Mhm.
I don't have any 8 a.m.s. That's a lie. I have care management as an 8 a.m. No, farm. That's a complete lie. I do have an 8 a.m. one day a week, Wednesday, and clinical
So
Monday.
it was not that day. Okay.
No, it was like it
Saturday?
was Friday. I
Friday.
think it was a Friday event.
Yeah. So
This is fun. And I'm going to
Yeah.
get Catherine to re-meet him formally and effectively
yes.
this weekend.
Yay!
Literally in a few days.
Saw him this morning.
And after a party barge, so maybe not party barge. Is party barge on the lake?
What is party barge?
I don't know.
Okay.
Something I think I've been on. Where they're going on
So they're gonna show up plastered,
well, he says he doesn't want to drink.
but he wants to go on a party boat.
Nashville has this fun thing where you go on, whether it's a trailer, whether it's a bus, it's like a party bus. Maybe I just call it that.
Okay.
So they're going on one of those before. He says he doesn't want to drink, so he's going to come after he does something else fun downtown. Presumably sober. He's over 21, I can say that. But who knows? But I hope, honestly, he does get a little bit tipsy and drunk and loosens up to where it's just a funny time. It'll be funny.
It will
I
be.
want to see y'all interact. And I hope for some god. Oh, they will end up singing. What they do every time is they start playing music and then they start singing along to the music. You want to know something he did to me? Which made me so pissed in my soul. And this is something artists will do because they're always thinking about singing and whatever. I put on my favorite song, Blue for You by Mason Ramsey, when we're at his place. I put on Blue for You, Blue Over You by Mason Ramsey. And I'm singing because it doesn't matter. And they play it loud. In the middle of the part where it's like,
They paused it.
Blue. Yeah. He pauses it. And immediately I'm like, bloop. He's like, no, keep going. I said,
Ew.
why? He said, that was kind of good. I was like, stop. Like, it makes me so enraged. Like, I am a nursing student. I'm not a musician. Don't you dare make me sing out loud with no music to judge it. Like, I'm not auditioning.
She's not on America's Got Talent.
I'm not auditioning. So that really embarrassed me. So beware if you start singing around them.
I won't.
Make sure. No, you should.
No, I
But with
won't.
music.
Yeah, so they can pause it.
Well, just make
And
sure.
I can't sing.
It'll be on my phone. They don't have the remote. They won't have the remote. I won't let it.
I
But
swear if he comes over
that
here
was
with
pretty
guitar
foul.
case,
I want him to just to really put you through the experience.
I'm gonna be
I gotta
sitting
see
here
if the
like,
I gotta see if Judah really changed me or not. I
Oh,
also
girl.
told him he has to write me a song.
Well, he said it wasn't coming along well.
Yeah,
Look, I'm wearing blue again. What?
I know. I specifically was like, I have to be different. Every video, she's worn blue, I've worn gray. Like, literally everyone except for the first one.
That's okay.
So,
Anywho.
that
That's
was really
funny.
interesting.
Yeah, we'll let you know how this weekend goes. The next topic is kind of like really poorly timed. Because I don't want to send you into a trigger with everything that you have had going on
What?
with aging.
Beyond confuzzled, beyond
Okay,
confused.
I don't want to
You won't send me in a spiral.
I just don't want to bring up the trauma that has just occurred in your family's life talking about aging.
My granddad passed. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to say it.
It's okay. My granddad passed. Very sad, all the things. I'm not like acting unfazed for any reason right now. But I feel like I'm at a place of peace with it. But I'm okay. You won't trigger me.
Just wanted to make
I'm
sure.
good. I'm good.
Okay. Just looking out for you.
Thank you.
So when I was home, I decided that I was gonna this whole new outlook came to my head because I had just been talking to so many adults and like my parents and just older people I know, and they always talk about aging in such a negative light.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I keep getting older, like, ugh, my life is over, all this stuff. I hate it. It makes me so angry. And I never want to be like that. Because, like, why are you just talking, like, so negatively about aging when, like, you get to experience more and more with every year? I think it just depends on how you use it. So I wanted to make a vow to myself to never be negative about that, because just being like, oh, I'm too old to do that, or I can't do that anymore, or like all this stuff. Like my mom won't get a cartilage piercing because she thinks she's too old now. I'm like, Mom,
My
no,
mom
you're
got a cartilage
not.
piercing when I got my cartilage piercing, and I went with a friend of mine in high school for her mom to get a nose, cartilage, and third piercing all in one go.
Like,
You're not too young.
not or too old.
Too old.
Like
You're not too
you're
old.
not. So
You're young.
I just wanted to change that narrative. And maybe that'll inspire somebody else to not feel negative about getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much good that comes from it. Like, I feel like in our generation, we are so rushed to do things and we have so much pressure and all this. And it's easy to feel like you're behind in everything. And I had this realization that I think that I'm so obviously I'm a little behind in some aspects, but I'm not thinking that way anymore because I think I'm given this time to be fully comfortable with myself so that way I'm not wasting time. Because I'm a big not time waster. I do everything fast. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I think you are not behind. I get what you're saying, and I get what you're probably referring to. But from being, quote, on like a different path, I think there's nothing about behind. I think it's exactly right. It's about timing. And I think that we also believe in God. We're religious. And so I think that there's a reason your heart watched others go through things to protect yours from going through it.
Right.
Which
I
is
think that,
good.
yeah, I think that definitely the big man upstairs is looking out for me a little bit and being like, no, girl, you've got to do some self reflection before you get into any of this.
Mm-hmm. Especially because you have such a good heart to where I think that your heart could get especially hurt where if other people are more cold and yeah, literally, your heart has the potential to get trampled. So I think you're having this time to protect it and work through it. And like you said, just get comfortable with yourself.
Yes.
To have that going.
So I just wanted that to be documented because I have been trying so hard lately to just, come up with an understanding about all that.
And with regards to the aging thing, I think I need to be reminded of that, especially because I'm currently learning about menopause in nursing.
Yay!
And all the changes, which is really not fun. And all of what we're being taught is women, you're going to change so much and all of your body's going to fail you and it's going to change so much. You're going to look like nothing like how you do now. And men, you literally just get wrinkles and some gray hairs and it's really upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that reminder is really good. Just a really good mindset for all walks. And also today when I was sitting up, I like tanned. I don't look tan, but for the pale start of the summer, I quote tanned.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just sitting there looking at the little southwest plains fly by and just hearing the birds chirp. And I was like I need to do more with my life. Like I'm a student, but I'm more than a student and I need to do things in the world that's not just study, sleep, repeat, take care of pets. Like I need to do more.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why I showered and got ready for studying at 7 p.m. But I was like, I need to do more because like you said, you're young once, yes, your life doesn't lose value or worth when you get older, but we just need to we're only getting today one time.
Right.
Not to put pressure on what I do today, but it's just a crazy concept.
Aging, yeah, it is a scary thing and you don't want to waste all your time, but also you have so much of it. Even though it's not guaranteed, the whole thing about I'm my knees hurt, I'm getting older, I don't look like I used to, I'm so sad, I have wrinkles, all this stuff. I hate hearing it. I don't want to be like that when I'm older.
You also made it to the age where you're doing that.
You should be
made it.
Proud you have wrinkles because you laughed.
Your smile lines are called smile lines
for a reason.
That means you're happy. I love seeing.
You have forehead wrinkles because you're curious, you're thinking, you're emotive.
We girls are gonna get them.
Yes,
that's okay.
It's just fine.
Also, I think something, and I think we've touched on it in other topics, but one thing that makes me so enraged about our generation is we cannot let natural bodies be natural bodies and be pretty. Everyone's trying to say we don't want to shame things and stuff, but the reality is we're changing the beauty standard to where growing up with acne or growing up with imperfections or growing up not being tan all year round. Like, we're changing the beauty to where it's like aging is aging. Everyone's trying to get Botox and fillers and like freeze the process, but it's like you lived a life. Can we just let our bodies be bodies? Because we would not want to change and do all this if we just did that.
It tells a story. Come on. I'm sure we got it.
Scooter agrees. Aging is cool. That's why he's getting chunked up. Meow.
You say it? Tell him.
Meow. What is Bindi, brother?
Do you know who Bindi Irwin is?
Nope.
You never watched Steve Irwin?
Is that the guy that died by Stingray?
Mm-hmm. Basically, her brother. He's a cutie.
Oh, I've seen The Son.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
His name's Bindi?
No, the girl's name is Bindi. His sister's name is Bindi. He just walked a fashion show, which was why I wanted it to be a topic, because he looks so handsome. His name's Robert. Like, look how sweet he is.
Yes, I did see that video.
He's so happy. And, like, he's so handsome.
Yes, I saw that. That's awesome.
Anyway, I just wanted to keep that in the time capsule.
Yes.
Because he's a precious sweetheart. All right, let's talk about Ryan Gosling.
Okay. I just want to touch on this again, just in the archives. Ryan Gosling's performance at the Oscars
Iconic.
as Ken. It was impeccable. It was perfect. Everyone's reactions. Emma Stone.
It was so funny.
It was funny, but also they took it like he was so serious in it that made it. If he was just like joking off, like he was Ken.
He embodied Ken.
The Kenergy was present. So I think that was awesome. I think that it also was like cool that he like made it to where all the female roles he had sing in it too, because it's just that whole thing of how he won and all these.
It was just cool. It was the
cool.
right thing to do.
It was the right thing to do. So that was also just a random in the time capsule, cool that happened kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was the basketball game? What is that?
So this was like, I went home about a month ago now. And my sister's, this is going to be like my mom's dog's cousin, that kind of thing. But my sister's fiance's brother,
yes,
plays on my high school basketball team.
So your future brother-in-law.
Would he be my brother-in-law?
No, I have literally no idea.
My brother-in-law's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, yes.
Yes. So we went and watched him because it was the last game, I think, before their championship. And I was sitting there and I was like, why does this make me miss high school? And then I was like, this is giving One Tree Hill. Mind you, we've talked about this. I had a horrible high school experience. It was not fun. Wouldn't go back. And then I was sitting there and I was like, yeah, this is like, where's Haley James Scott? Where's Nathan? Like, this is literally One Tree Hill right now. And I was like, wait. Like, this is fun in theory, but if I had to go back to high school, horrible. But then I was also sitting there and I was like, I could be the best high school health teacher, not coach, health teacher or English teacher or math or something. I don't know. But I was like, they would love me. I think
they would.
Like, I could be so good at that. Mind you, I'd have to go back to school for like 2 years and that's not going to happen right now. So we're going to stick with the music biz. But I just thought that was a little funny anecdote that I was like, wait, this could be amazing.
It could.
That was such a little funny
That is
story.
a surreal thought. I could see you totally as a teacher.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be a teacher since I was little.
That would be awesome. You could never pay me to go back to high school, but I did get to use my high school trauma for fun. Whenever I was on spring break, I went to Wyoming with my mom, and then on the way back stopped in Denver to visit a friend at Boulder who's been like my best friend for 7 years now, my high school best friend, Paige. And we were sitting watching Love is Blind with her roommates, and one of the guys in the show, I was just like, ugh, narcissist, like calling him like narcissistic tendencies that he was doing to this other girl that were wrong. And a girl, like her friend, her roommate, was like, wait, okay, tell me what that is. And I was like, and Paige looked at me and she's like, oh no, she like actually has dated them. And then the other girl got super interested and she was like, wait, I want to know all about them. So then I was trauma dumping my high school horrible boyfriend and all the things that happened. And then Paige and I just start snowballing into the most crazy stuff that happened in our high school, or things that people did to us, and we were just traumatized dumping, and they were just like, what? Like, wait, what? There's another story? And wait, what? Anyways, it was very entertaining for them, and they learned a lot from the personalities of the people that have done us wrong, and it was really interesting. And I just felt vindicated in that moment. I was like, okay,
Good.
everything that happened is now for fun right now. For 5 seconds, it's really just for fun story
It's for
time.
character building for sure.
Yeah, so that was funny and crazy.
Yes, the kitties
Are
are
chunked up and
they're
thriving.
quickly gaining weight. Like, he's getting kind of fat. Out of love, Riley.
Out of love, it's so true. But they're self-fed, so it's like Scooter's doing it to himself, but it's fine.
It is. I kind of already told you about this next story time. About the high school girls I
Were
met
these
at
the same
gym.
girl? Oh, yes.
Yeah. This, I don't even know how to put into words how this made me feel. These girls, and this is why I need to be a high school health teacher, because these girls needed to be schooled so bad. So I met these 2 freshmen in high school at my gym, and we were just talking, and they were telling me about boys they were dating and all this stuff. And then they were like telling me, they were like, yeah, we really just started coming to the gym to get abs. And I was like, okay, no, no, that's really not how this works, but okay. And then one of the girls was like, mind you, she's like this skinny little thing. She's like, yeah, I'd really like to lose 15 pounds by spring break. I was like, what? She's like, do you think that's good? I said, no, that's not good. That's actually horrible. Like, no.
Also, why is the priority of why these girls are going to spend hours in a gym and pay for a membership and all this? Again, like we said, these unrealistic expectations of our society. Like, oh, I need to be itty bitty on the beach for everyone to stare and judge my body. And then I need abs because having a flat tummy isn't enough. I have to be some really, just cool icon body, which is not what, like, the average woman is not that. So why are we all trying to be that?
And it was really
sad.
Like, it was kind of hard because I was like standing there and I was like, I actually don't know what to tell these girls.
Yeah.
Like, that was the hardest part because I've been where they are and like thought of all this silly stuff. And I was like, what did I need someone to tell me? And it's really hard.
I don't think at that age, though, there's probably, because I agree with you, there was like, when I was little, I would do like 1,000 crunches in my room before I went to bed for no reason. It did nothing. I was a little child. But in your mind, you're like wanting to get that body, or you're wanting to do certain exercises that will give you curves because everyone else has curves and you don't. All the toxic things. But I think at that point, and we just talked about this with adolescence and development, is like everything is like given to what their peers think, and that's like where all the worth comes from, and like their peers are what reassure them. It's not their parents anymore.
Right.
I don't think there's anything you could say unless you're a peer that is someone that they are looking up to and admiring. I think that's the only one that would penetrate that mindset, because otherwise all their worth is coming from a peer, and unless it's like who they look at as, does that make sense? Like,
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you're really gonna only take advice from someone you value and like want to be like.
Yeah.
Which is not right, because maybe somebody else could give you great advice. But like, I kind of did the same thing as you. I remember there was this one kid that at the end of every school year, he would have a pool party. I never went, ever, because I was in grade school and insecure of my body. And I would look up, I remember one time I was at my grandparents and I was like, how to get abs in 2 days. Like, girl, like 10-year-old
and it's
me.
like some toxic YouTuber that actually makes a video.
Yes.
And it's like, why is this? Yeah, I think I told you that I would always get so much anxiety with pool parties or water and lake stuff because I had acne in high school. And if you go on a lake or you go in the pool, your makeup's going to come off. So I would get so anxious about it to where I think I might have told this thing or another thing.
I
I
don't
would
know if you
sit in the
said on
sun and like get sunburns purposely because then it would make the red acne blend in with like a sunburn. Do not do it. It's horrible and it does not work. If I told a story before, I'm saying it again. Don't do that. But peers' approval meant so much to where now, looking back, I'm like, who the heck? No one would have cared.
No.
And the 3 other girls I was with, they had pimples. It's just in my mind, they were too confident. And in my mind, mine would stand out and theirs didn't. And I never looked at them and noticed it or cared.
Yeah.
But in your own mindset, you're just way harsh on yourself and everyone's changing and it's a horrible, rough stage. And no one, I think, will really shift mindset unless a peer's the one that said it. Because my mom said 1,000 times, it's not bad. You don't need to. But it in one ear out the other.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So
It's
my
a rough
kids, if you're
stage.
listening to this, listen to me. Please. Gosh, hopefully I'll have figured out the right advice by then. Because it's just tough, and it's just a really hard part about
And your parents went through it. We were anxiety riddled with the same things you are. We were stressed about our appearances, stressed about our bodies, and if we'd look like the girl that had it figured out. Nobody has it figured out. There's good
No.
actors at it.
Yeah.
No one actually does.
No.
And it makes you feel better. We're grown up to where at 16 you want to be 20, and then at 20 you want to be 21. Like, it's kind of like the song 16 by Thomas Rhett.
Yep.
You literally just want what you can't have, and then you get there and you want the next thing.
Yeah. Now you're like, I should have just
If you're
been happy where I
12 or
was.
16 or whatever age watching this and you're wanting to be our age or wanting to be whatever, we're at that age and there's no life change. I thought at like 14 I was like, oh, I can't wait to be in college or a senior in high school, and then I got to be a senior in high school and I'm like, oh my god, I hate this. And then I wanted to be in college and have this big friend group and be like out on the town every weekend and like all the I'm 20 and at home with the cats and it's not that.
No.
And then I think that at 21, oh, it'll be so different once I'm 20. No, it won't.
No, but we're still going to have fun. We are really going
Yeah.
to focus on trying to put ourselves out there
Yeah.
more. But not because we feel like we're not where we need to be.
Yeah, I don't think,
Just because that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I want to be out and also say that because I will not be living in Nashville forever. You will not. For me, it's like a fun place to live in my 20s, same as my parents lived in LA for that fun phase. Like, I want to look back and be like, oh yeah, that big city, Nashville, I lived there and it was fun. But then I'm going to move on. So I just want to feel like I'm living it now to where when someone says, oh, you lived in Nashville, I can actually tell stories and I actually did stuff.
Yeah.
So it's for ourselves and our own memories. But
because that's what you do things for yourself.
Yeah,
it's not self-care is not selfish. Drop that mic.
Also, self-care doesn't mean it's only just you doing it. My self-care is sitting with Catherine on the couch. Right. It's this is our fun hobby. This is our therapy session. So a long spiel, but I mean, we're on a floating rock in space.
Yeah.
That's been my thing recently. I added it to my bio on Instagram.
You did?
Just floating on a rock in space.
Yeah.
Is my mindset. Get stressed. Like, I had an exam which ended up going great.
Yay!
So, but in the moment, I'm like stressing and I felt myself getting back into that anxiety inducing like school mindset. And I'm like, wait, I'm floating on a big rock in space.
Mm-hmm.
I love my Lord and Savior. I've got kids and a roof over my head. By kids, I mean my cats. And it's okay.
It's like, okay.
This anxiety is not going to change anything. We're fine. Like,
no.
Gotta let go.
Yes. I mean, I'm so sick of this whole stress all the time.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I'm like, actually, like,
calm down.
What am I, like, I know I've heard it 1,000 times, but it's kind of like what you said, like, until one day it clicks, it doesn't matter how much you preach this, but, like, anxiety is a feeling over something you can't control, but there's going to be an outcome. I need to stop stressing about that kind of stuff. Like, a grade's going to get posted. Why am I stressing until I see it? The outcome's going to be the same.
Yeah.
There's no point. So that's what I'm working on. Enjoying now is like really hard to do, but I'm trying to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good goal.
We'll keep you updated.
Yeah.
On that, because that's a like
It's an evolving thing.
Yeah, evolving is the word.
It's not instantly fixed.
No.
And just because I'm preaching at kiddos doesn't mean I've learned it or that I'm perfectly got it figured out in my 20s.
Right.
I don't have
My work
anything figured out.
gifted me a self-care journal. I was like, that's so sweet. But like, also, are you trying to say
that's
something?
that's where I would come from. Thank you, but also, do you sense something I don't?
But no, like I sense the same thing.
Do I seem to be? Yeah.
But it's all good. So this next quick story time, I just went for the vault again.
Yes.
So I can tell this because he was in attendance. I was at my internship and I walked out of my office and there's this man walking, smiling at his phone, and I had to double take him and I was like, Glenny Balls walked right past me. And I was like, my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was starstruck. I did not say hi. I wish I did. Glenny, one day I'll give you a hug.
Oh, I've seen someone else post that he's been in Nashville. And like I know celebrities around here.
Yeah.
Like Morgan Wallen posted a song and said he had driven back into the city to record it one day. Like I know they're here.
Yeah.
But to see one and like really in their environment just walking on your phone like you said, it's like really real.
Like I think I was more starstruck to see him than I was Morgan.
Yeah. It's almost
like,
people like that. Like Caleb Presley. Well,
yeah.
no, I'd be over the moon if I saw Morgan, but not because I'm obsessed with him, just because.
No, I know.
I'm having a big dilemma with that man.
I know, but it's okay. We're on a floating rock.
We're on a floating rock in space.
Not our circus, not our monkeys.
Yeah, but he's like teasing all these songs warning when we hang out with Country Boy and his friends. All they play is his unreleased songs.
He physically, like that have been leaked?
Maybe some got posted. I don't know. They are playing new songs that I'm just hearing here and there.
Okay, well,
but I can't stand him.
I know, I can't stand him. I know. He's very talented. He needs a rebrand. Life rebrand.
But I don't even think he's gonna do his rebrand. I think he's gonna play the part. He seems like he's really good at playing roles that he's not.
Well, we don't know him.
I don't know, Morgan. I don't know you.
We don't know him.
But you know what? If you want to get dinner and tell me about it, I'll go.
If you want to get dinner, literally.
I won't go easy on you, though. I will drill you with questions, but I will go.
Literally for, just for the pod.
For the plot.
Like, we just need...
I'll sign an NDA, too. Like,
sure.
I'll keep it locked. It won't make it on
here. It's literally for...
So guess what? If I go on a date with Morgan Wallen, y'all won't hear about it. So y'all can just wonder if I ever do.
I'll be going as well.
Yeah.
You'll
maybe be in the background hiding.
Yeah, I'll be behind, just like.
Did I tell you I went on a date freshman year and I went on a date with a guy and his whole friend group sat at the booth behind and had to eavesdrop and hear me friends on him? Yep. And one of his friends is someone that was a high school friend of kind of situation. And he actually plays music here. And yeah, him and all of his friends were sitting in a booth right behind, and he was sitting at a booth with me, and he was like, so, do you want to go on another date? Like, how did this go? And I was like, I think we're friends.
Oh, Riley.
I think it was so fun, but I feel like that was, and then I had to walk out, and he had to then walk back to his friend's booth behind them, and it was awful.
Oh, that's
Don't do that.
Terrible.
It will backfire.
That's so terrible. Who would have thought to do that? Do you want to tell your Broadway Boy story?
Sure. Okay. There's an update with Broadway Boy. It's nothing eventful. It's nothing great. I'm honestly more pissed off than anything. I was in Wyoming, minded my own little dang business, and I've confessed on here that I have Hinge. It's for the storyline. It's for the plot. I don't match with anyone. I don't talk to anyone. It's just a daily thing that I look at for fun and X everyone. I was going through and I see recommended for me to swipe yes or no is Broadway Boy. I look at his profile. I exit. Ain't no way I'm going to like it considering how it left off was basically me ghosted. I exit. Don't think twice about it. The next day, I had come across his little page and he liked me. And I was like, this is so stupid. So I comment back and I'm like, I'm taking you liking my profile as an absolute joke. He's like, okay, wow, something like that. And I'm like, what do you expect? Like, whatever. Basically, it snowballs into him being like, I just have this fear that my lifestyle of being an artist is like too much for anyone. And I feel like I'm just overwhelming, and it's like my deep dark fear. I'm like, one, I never wanted to date you, and I told you that. It was just to get to know each other as friends. So I don't know where you got this from, but like that was not my intention. He's like, yeah, I guess you're right. He's like, well, wait, when are you back in town? I say the date I'm back in town, but I don't say anything about hanging out. I'm just like, that's when I get back.
Yeah.
And then I'm in Boulder, and he replies to my thing or something and says like, glad to see you made it back safe or something. And I'm like, well, I'm in Boulder, so I'm not back yet, but okay. And then I get back, and the other night he had posted at what I thought was, it looked like Well Coffee House, which is a coffee house here that we go to.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wait, is this Well Coffee? He's like, no, it's some other random place. And then he's like, are you planning on going to bed? Or he's like, what are you up to? And I'm like, I don't know, about to go to bed soon. He's like, yeah, I'm thinking about going to bed too. He's like, I'm going to watch a show. I'm like, okay. And then he says something else of like, yeah, no follow up. And I go, well, this is great conversation and random. LOL. Like, I just don't even, like, why are you talking to me? Like, why speak words with such little input or value and then like expect anything in return? So he's just pissing me off. He's just like a presence that's annoying me. He's playing at Luke 32's right tonight, or last night he was, which is so eerie. We're not going to get into it because it's just so upsetting. I do think it's good to briefly mention, just for if our kids are listening, this is kind of just a teaching, educational moment. There's been a lot of moments that have happened, I think, for us both while living here in Nashville that have really changed us to our core in the fact of how we look at things and how we walk in our life. Covenant School was one of them. And this, I think, is another big one for me, and I think for you, is we are not partiers. We are not partiers. We are also not 21, but people party when they're not 21, and we still don't. And we feel like we grew up really fast, where a lot of the let loose nature of people that party our age, we don't have. We kind of grew up past it. We don't live that lifestyle. But when you go out, kids, if you're doing that, whether you are of age or not, or whether mom knows or not, secretly, please, please, please keep this in mind if you do. Someone has to stay sober and safe. Someone has to have their head on them and accountable for everyone in the group, especially if you go out knowing the rest of them are going to get pretty messed up. Never let someone go home alone. Girls or guys. Girls, we know it as more of a sense of like, oh, what if someone like tries to take us, or like the girl specific fears. Guys think they're invincible. It doesn't matter who you are. You might not be able to take care of yourself. And it's not about, oh, he can make it home safe, he's a guy. He might not be able to make it home because he got that drunk, or you got that drunk, or whatever. It's such a valuable lesson. And I think a lot of people I know here are having a more so awareness of it because they're like, wait, we go out, I'm scared. Be smart, and be smart for your friends and take care of your friends. A good night out means everyone comes home safe. And that's really hard because no one our age we think we're invincible. Everyone thinks we're invincible. Adolescents, you literally, by definition of how we study you, you think you're invincible. In nursing, they literally are taught like adolescents think they have no fear because they have this thing that they're independent and the world's at their disposal. It's so infuriating because it's so preventable, but it's a very deep topic. But just please be safe when you go out, and be safe for yourself and for others.
Tell someone you're going out.
Yes.
Tell someone that's not going out with you that you're going out.
And also just don't transport yourself before or after drinking, especially after
No.
drinking, alone. In general, whether that be an Uber fear, a walking fear. I mean, there is just so much that can happen. And when you're under the influence, especially if you're really that under the influence, like, the world is scary. And no one wants to think about it like that because everyone wants to have a good time. But it's a really sad thing.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, that's a little snippet of your moms know what we're talking about when we say be safe, don't drink and drive, don't trust others to drive if they've had one drink.
Get in the car with anyone who has had a sip of alcohol.
No. And you know what? Your mom's probably bought you breathalyzers because we got gifted. I mean, you're welcome to use mine. Like, I have one that my parents gave me in high school because their role was, I don't care if we know about it or not, we know that things are going to be exposed to you. use this for your own safety. If
Yeah.
someone says they've not drank, check them.
Breathalyze them.
Check the amount of, there was one party where I literally, before anyone was allowed to go home, wasn't even my party, I was breathalyzing them. I was like, you think you're safe? Let's see. Oh, you're 0.4. You're halfway to being over. Also, you've drank in general. No, you're not. I'll drive you home. Because I was a sober friend in high school. I threw parties and I was the sober one. And I spent the night there and I was still sober. Like, one night changes so much.
Yeah,
It's so sad.
it is really sad. It's not worth it.
But anyway, Broadway Boy is playing on Broadway at the Broadway bars. And Broadway Boy is annoying. And Broadway Boy, grow the frick up. You are 27. Get up. Do something.
Literally grow up.
Really get up.
I'm so embarrassed for you.
Awful. I think Country Boys made more of a music impression than Broadway Boy has. I mean, Country Boy shot you out. You had a song that blew up to where you got like 147,000 likes on a TikTok.
POV that was on my February playlist.
See? See? Country Boy is doing more than freaking Broadway Boy. And there's like a decade in between them almost. 6 years. But whatever. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Literally.
For growing up is scary topic of the week.
I did say mine.
Yeah, yours was great. Mine, and I've known this kind of for a while. I, in high school, kind of was mistreated enough to where I really had this snap, and other people would be like, oh, why don't you keep the door open? Or why are you so, like, stand up for yourself? Like, what if everyone doesn't like you because of what you do? Like, I learned this lesson then to where it's kind of just really solidifying now. But learning that sometimes being nice to yourself doesn't always mean you need to be nice to others. It's like you said, little Catherine needed to know to stand up for herself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be nice to everyone. And I don't mean you got to just be mean to people that don't deserve it. And I don't even mean be mean. But you can stand up for yourself and do the thing that isn't like the most like people-pleasing thing. And there was a moment recently where narcissists, who I haven't really told a full narcissist story time on this podcast. And until it really needs to be said, I probably won't, because he just doesn't need a story because he's just irrelevant and not a good human. But my grandfather passed away in Barbados, my granddad, and I don't really feel like I need to get into it, but he passed away. And narcissist the other night has not reached out to me in months at this point, does not care about my well-being to reach out. Like, I know his soul, and it's not with good intention of like, I really care about you. He sends a text of like, I heard your grandfather passed. My mom told me, and I hope you and your family are doing well. I know that was for his own personal gain of being like, oh, I know I'm going to be a nice guy by sending it. I know his brain. I know how the gears turn. And it was for his own thing of just feeling like, okay, if she responds, because last time I talked to her, she was pretty firm in how she didn't think I was a great guy. If she responds and this is a cordial end, I'll feel like, okay, I'm a good guy. Like, this is the closure of I know she's walking around thinking I'm just this sweet guy that cares about you. I didn't respond. And it probably wasn't the most cordial thing, because normally you're like, oh, thank you. Everything aside, that was sweet. No. You don't get to use my feelings of sadness to then make yourself feel / look better as the guy who reached out. Like, you don't get to do that. So it was kind of me using what I've realized as growing up is putting yourself first, and you don't have to please others or be cordial in every instance to do that, into like the story time of him doing that. Because to the average person, it's like, oh, but that's sweet he reached out. That's a nice, mature thing. People don't always have nice, mature intentions. And that's a hard lesson. People are not who they say they are. My thing is, standing up for yourself doesn't mean always doing the nice thing for others. That was my lesson and my story time combined.
Well, there you go. Double whammy. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah. What would you have done in my situation?
I don't know. Because I feel like I would need to go through it to be able to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
But because I was an outsider in that whole thing, like, I feel like I can't really say I totally support the decision you made, because I think that's what was best for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't necessarily know what I would have done.
That's very fair. That's an honest answer.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. On a floating rock in space.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope I don't run into him. My mom said the other day that she thinks I'll run into him when we start going out downtown. And I literally said, Mom, don't you dare speak that into existence. Because you know what? Moms call stuff, and moms call stuff that happens. And I was like, Mom, the fact you use your mom powers to put that out there, take it back right now.
Did
I'm
she
never
take it
going to
back?
see him. I don't know. I don't think she really did. I think she was just like, okay, you can think that. But I never want to, like, moving on in life means letting go. And selfishly, it means I hope I don't see you again. And that's that.
Hey, that's fair.
And
That's totally fair.
with the whole self-care, whatever to yourself means not people pleasing others, if I see him, I'm not going to be very cordial. I won't say hi. I won't. There's 8 billion people. I don't really have to put that much in making sure you think I don't care.
No. You've been warned.
You've been warned. Don't see me. And if you say hi,
Don't
do it.
Please don't, because you don't want to put anyone in that position, especially yourself.
I also hope that my body language says enough. Don't say hi to me.
I think it will.
Just read the room. I don't know.
Literally.
And Scooter is doing exactly what Scooter does, which is sit and process his food and store it into fat.
He's trying his best here. And he's doing great.
He is doing great.
I was just pondering one day and thought of a new segment for the pod. I think that in each episode we should name a song that we're loving right now.
Oh, perfect.
So like at the end we'll have this whole playlist of these wonderful songs that
we add it into a playlist?
we don't have to, but we can, but it'll just be on a virtual
Right.
vault.
Yep.
That we'll know like what was relevant in our lives at that time. And I know you're just gonna be the Blue Whatever by Mason Ramsey. But
it's not. That's not my one right now.
Okay.
Although I will say my love for Mason Ramsey is really snowballing. I texted Country Boy today and I said, do you like Mason Ramsey? Because I realized I don't think our friendship can just continue if he didn't. And luckily I think he said that he liked it.
Now, before I get on my Corey Kent soapbox, because also I don't know what a soapbox is, but I feel like that's just where you like go off.
Who knows?
I adore this man. He was at CRS.
Mm-hmm.
He is so talented live. He's such a sweet human. Like you can just tell.
Mm-hmm.
He is a golden human being.
Who is he?
Corey Kent. He sings Wild as Her.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but that's not the song. The song is Gold.
Okay.
It is so good. It's all about the day he's like proposing to his wife. Yeah. It's so good.
Okay. Yep.
Your turn.
Mine are 2. And they're both old. They are both old. They are both not recent.
That's fine. This one, I think his is new too.
Well, they are both by Mason Ramsey. The first one is a very popular one that blew up, but it's Before I Knew It, I was holding the door, holding your hand, and off of work just as fast as I can. That song just recently, at 7 or whatever, 12 he is in that song, damn. He threw it down.
Before I Knew It. Yeah.
We are playing Mason Ramsey when the people come over Saturday night, and they will love it and they will cherish it.
I love that.
The other one is like an older aged Mason Ramsey, so his voice is a little deeper. Not quite where he is now, 17, but it's called Here All Day. And it's basically where he's saying, like, I could stay with you all day, like, to whatever girl he's singing about. Mm-hmm. Which, God knows if they're real in his small town or not, or if it's just country boys singing over girls in general. But he's just, like, saying, like, I could stay here all day, hanging on every little word you say. Whatever.
So cute.
I just am really here for Mason Ramsey. I want to see him succeed. I'm a #1 fan and so stoked. I've also told myself that if he comes to Nashville, I will see him. I will pay for front row. I will do what a girl has to do just because I think it's so funny. And it's fun because I think that as we grow up, which I don't know if you've seen all the content, like it's 4 years from a few days ago was officially when COVID hit because it was spring break.
Bonkers. We should do a COVID episode.
Years. We should. It's insane to recap what has happened since COVID. But I feel like he was such a big part of our growing up, like the yodeling boy in Walmart.
Yeah.
And now he's played the Grand Ole Opry, he's done all this, he's touring, he's got these songs. It's just one of those things where it's fun to see the story succeed
Yes.
and to literally watch him grow up. Like the photo selfie he took of him and Justin Bieber, of like the selfie. Have you seen that iconic photo where he's like with JB
No.
Mason with his little hat at like 8 or whatever? That was like one of my playlist covers forever. Like I just am obsessed with seeing the success stories. So
Of Mason, yeah.
I don't know. I'm on my Mason Ramsey kick.
So,
Don't get into
hey.
scandal, kid.
Hey, I have artists like that too. I'm like on my Corey Kent kick.
There you go.
And there you go.
There you go.
I just thought that would be a fun little segment we do.
I love it.
You
You've shared some great songs with me. I love all the songs
thank
you
you.
recommend. You've got
Thank
great music taste.
That's like the biggest compliment. So I wanted to bring this up because I wasn't sure if you had heard of this before or not. Have you ever heard of the game We're Not Really Strangers?
No.
Oh my gosh, I think you'd love it.
What is it?
I have it.
Okay.
But it's this wonderful game where it's like you play it with however many people, and every level the questions get deeper and deeper.
We're playing Saturday night.
You're like,
All I did Saturday night was talk about deep questions. Like Country Boy's friend was
there is
literally
no
like,
way I'm
is
playing We're Not
fun.
Really Strangers with Country Boy and his friends.
why? All I did the whole night was literally like they were like truth or truth, and you would expect people our age would be asking like, "What's the craziest thing you've done?" or "Who do you?"
Yeah.
I was literally like, "What's the hardest life lesson you learned, but you were glad that you learned it?" And they were literally drinking and just like,
That
this
is
fun.
so Riley. It's so fun to
'Cause
have
no
deep
one asked-
topics.
deep talks. So I was just
No.
like, "Hey."
I knew you'd eat that game up.
Yeah. So wait, tell the
It's so
story
great.
of this game. I'm guessing it's like a deep pursuit.
Yeah. It's by the company We're Not Really Strangers. There's the regular one, there's a self-love one, there's a best friend one. Me and my high school best friend got into it. I think I bought it when I was a freshman in college. And I've played it so many times. It's so fun. Like some of them are silly, like they're cool, like if I drew one, it would be like asking you if you were to say I was a fictional character, who would I be?
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's some that's like, what's the hardest lesson you've had to learn and why?
Right.
Like, yeah. So it's just every one is deeper, and it's really interesting. I think one of the questions is like, what was your first impression of me and why, and like all this stuff. And there's also some that are for people like, this is the first time you've ever met. Like, how many speeding tickets do you think I've gotten? Stuff like that. So it's just a fun game.
We're gonna play with them.
We might. And maybe if they have some
Otherwise,
Sprite,
we're gonna just listen to music and talk. And
they
watch
might not
shows.
like it unless they have Dr. Pepper.
They're very alcohol. They're very fun. No, they're just like little friends. They're not like anyone you have to impress
Yeah.
or anything. Like we
I
literally
know.
will probably end up watching some trashy show and
It's
they'll be drinking and it'll just be great.
it's just funny because I saw him this morning at 8 a.m. and he still didn't know who I am. It's the funniest
did you
thing.
talk to him?
No. I
I
sit in
think
the.
you just need to be like the strong one because he's intimidated.
I'm intimidated.
But you're confident. Here's the thing about confidence. And I think someone in Euphoria said this, Maddie. The cool thing about confidence is nobody really knows if you have it or not. So you can just fake it. Like, if you
That's
act
right.
confident, no one knows if you're actually confident or if you're just trying to be confident.
Yeah.
If you walked right up to him and said, "Hey, I'm Catherine. We've met, but I just want to re-meet because heard about you a lot and just wanted to really get to say hi," that would make him be like, "Oh my gosh, she's so confident."
Well, I won't see him until Saturday, so.
Yep.
Got out of that one.
It's funny because your idea of like that game is so wholesome and great, and then I have an app on my phone which I saw people playing in Auburn when I visited Brooke and her friends at Auburn. It's like the opposite. It's like a game where it's like who's most likely to or something, and it's like aspects of like crazy outlandish though. It's like obscene, inappropriate, funny college kids, and I just have like those apps compared to yours, which is funny. Which ideally, I think it would be fun if we could play that game with them because they are really silly. But I think it's so funny that
Would I even say half of the things that's on that
you
thing?
wouldn't say anything out loud. No.
Okay. So I'd just be watching.
I think you need to drink soda and tell yourself it's alcohol and placebo get drunk.
Yes, because children, I'm not lying to you when I said I don't drink.
No, literally, like I think like, and that's the thing is placebo. I'm gonna keep pouring in whatever your cup is, sodas, and you just have to
My
commit that
poppies.
I'm gonna tell you there's alcohol in this.
Well, here's the thing.
There's alcohol.
I'm very good, and I don't feel like I've had the like experience to show you this. But like I'm good at turning it on real quick.
Oh, same.
Like I can be super outgoing, super quick if I'm in the right.
Oh, I don't have a
mood.
worry about if you're gonna be outgoing and stuff like that. I'm like you to where I mean, Lexi and I have known each other for 3 years and we've never been drunk together. Like, I'm not a drunk girl. I don't drink. I don't party. I'm the smart friend. Like I said, I threw parties in high school when I was sober. So I can throw down and have a good time sober. I know you can too.
Yeah.
I just think sometimes when you're sober, you just look at things and you're like, wow, I'm really sober hearing these kind of jokes right now. Yeah. I just think for just the looseness of everything, placebo do it to yourself. And not because you need to drink to have fun or you need to pretend you're drunk to have fun. Yeah. Just to like really be like, you know what? I got to take everything as a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because they're just whack.
They're just silly boys.
Yeah.
Silly boys.
So we're going to placebo pour you poppy sodas and you're going to pretend it's like tequila shots and it's going to be great.
Course.
I'm going to serve it to you in shot glasses.
I'm just taking shots of poppy.
I am going to make you do that. I'm not kidding.
Like 1, 2, 3.
I'm going to get a shot glass out from there and I'm going to literally be pouring your poppies and you only get to drink your poppy when it's in a shot.
But yeah, that'll be fun. I'm excited for this weekend.
I want to think of something really fun for us to do.
Yeah.
I'm in a mood to be really spunky.
Okay, think.
I don't know.
Let's be spunky.
What's something spunky? Looking at these two cats just sitting is not very spunky.
He's like sideways asleep.
Yep, he's very interesting in how he can sleep. And then Scooby is like licking himself.
It's bath time for Scoob. So Riley and I, the only time we have an argument is when...
It's like, have we been having arguments?
We have. No, when we are trying to decide what to watch because we're both so indecisive and we're
just little people pleasers.
Yes.
And we don't want to pick something each other doesn't want to watch.
Yes. So I brought home a mason jar from Kentucky and we will be placing different shows and movies we want to watch in the mason jar so we do not have to decide. We can just simply pick a note card out of the mason jar and be like, this is what we're watching. We've already agreed on this. We liked it. We want to watch it. And that's how it's going to go. Such an interesting cat. Anywho, so I think that, should we wrap it up?
Yes, we should. I'm sorry. We're watching a very fat Scooter attempt to lick himself. And him just having to maneuver to lick his own body looks really strenuous for him.
Anyway.
Okay.
Thanks for joining in. I'm sure this is a long episode.
A chaotic moment. Just random fun with serious lessons in there.
A little catch up, if you will.
Yeah, but
the
sound his beans just made.
We will see you next time, and it will definitely be sooner than this one.
Yeah. Who knows? If things go really bland with no ideas, we'll just make them podcast Saturday.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I think we should do it after they're intoxicated.
Do you think they'll even want to, or do you think they'll make fun of us?
No, I literally, like, this is someone, like, I'm actually, like, a close friend with.
I know,
but
it's
fine.
Fun of us?
No, he didn't. He is subscribed. He's probably watching.
But he was like, oh, tell me what it is.
Mr. Exotic.
Oh! Mr. Exotic.
Mr. Exotic. If you're watching, text me.
Oh,
if you're watching, text me for proof.
Again. Yeah.
He's in Hawaii right now.
Text.
You know what annoyed me?
What?
In Boulder. Hi, Mr. Exotic. We were wow, I'm really airing this out. We were Snapchatting, and I sent, like, a photo in, like, a cute outfit. It was, like, the one night we were going out.
Yeah.
And he saved it in the chat and was, like, trying to make a joke, like, oh, you look good. And in a visceral part of me, I was so annoyed. Not because of what he did. It was sweet. It was flattering. But it's like, can you just come here?
I know.
Can you be here?
I know.
Like, I'm not saying I want to date and commit to you for lifelong right now, but, like, so annoying. Like, can you just exist near me? It was like an inward annoyance of just like, come on. And I think I said to him, he was like, why do you look sad or something? I was like, well, you're not here. And he's like, I'll definitely see you when I can. Something very honest and truthful and mature, but I'm just like, hop on a plane. Because he just hops around to all these places. He's in
Yeah.
Hawaii right now.
That's so cool. Is it for work?
Randomly. I don't know. I think he's just someone where like the world happens to him to where he just gets like brought places.
That's so fun.
Like he just ended up in Nashville. Like he just ends up in Hawaii. Like just end up back here.
Is it that hard?
Probably not. Whatever.
Anyway.
Whatever.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.